Happy Friday, everyone. This is Tailgate Talk. I am your host, Mike. That is my partner in crime, Tommy, from the MSR. What's going on, bud?
What is up, Mikey? Happy motherfucking Friday.
It is. The Friday before Christmas. You know, it was my last day of work for the rest of the year.
Damn.
I'm off until like the second week of January. So I get to have a nice long break, you know, enjoy some family time. And maybe do a couple other shows, you know, follow you around.
Guy.
You know?
Lucky guy.
Follow you around.
Hold on. Let me do something.
All right. What's he got for us? But this week, so we'll hit the recap like we normally do, Tommy, and then we will get into the Panthers. There was some really good news. Allen is healthy and gonna play. He got in a full practice today, so that's positive.
Yes, thank God it was not turf toe, which would have been way worse, guys. So a sprained foot. He was out already at watching a show called Hamilton without his walking boot. So, you know, Bill's Mafia gave us the update before McDermott did. So he's good to go. Yeah,
I wish they would stay in a bubble for the rest of the year, where this COVID thing's popping up around the league. They moved 3 games, one Saturday game or 2 Saturday games and 1 Sunday game. But they moved to Monday and Tuesday next week. So, you know, we went through that last year, but it'll be interesting.
We're in flu season, Mikey. We're in flu season. It's going to happen.
Dawkins got his second time. Got COVID for the second time.
Cole was right, just saying. But, for the second time. Hey, that just goes to show you, man. Got to be careful, guys. Got to be careful out there. Just because you got the vaccination doesn't mean you're invincible. You can get that shit.
Touche. Why better turf toe than turf nuts?
And turf nuts. Turf nuts. You don't want the turf, you know, that deadly turf nuts. You know, thank God he didn't get that.
Dave comes in and says local news North Carolina says Kitties may have many cases of the virus and game day may yet be postponed. You know, they're still playing it by ear at this point. You know, if they don't have to shut down the facility, I don't think they're going to postpone the games. You know, if it's not a massive outbreak,
right?
But, I didn't think they were going to do any because they said at the beginning of the year that they're not going to do any. And if you can't make it, if you can't make it, you're going to forfeit, and you guys are not going to get paid. And that's what they were saying. And now all of a sudden they're like, okay, never mind.
No, you made a good point though. They gotta. I think that's up, but NFL can't enforce that. But I think teams. Come on, man. Like, I think teams, especially teams that are headed to the playoffs or, you know, have a chance, I think they need to talk to their players and just kind of just like, hey, we need you guys to, I know it sucks.
Bubble up like you did last year.
Yeah, bubble or do whatever you got to do to keep away from outside people. You know,
maybe not go to the theater and watch Hamilton.
Oh, Hamilton? No, you have to watch Hamilton, Mikey.
Maybe you don't go to the theater and watch Hamilton.
That's a must. Hey, I saw Deion Dawkins at a midget boxing event on YouTube once last year. So I mean, he was out and about.
John Herring comes in and says, "COVID's wrecking sports. Lakers have like 5 players out tonight. It is, and it's wrecking not just football, but basketball, man. I live in Sacramento, and I'm a Kings fan, and we got the coach and like 3 players out, and they just shut down the whole, locker room and everything because the outbreak was hitting guys like every other day. A new guy was popping up positive. So this new Omni variant is no joke. This Omicron variant.
Yeah, but that's not what's hitting people. I mean, I get it's no joke, but that's not. It's mainly COVID cases. So listen, end of the day, just be careful. Just the players got to be smarter. Especially Deion Dawkins. My God, player that had it that bad in the hospital. You know, like just be a little bit more careful. I don't know what he's doing, but golly, man, I'd be scared.
You're not done nothing.
No, it's true, but I'm just saying, like, you know, you got to just be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, last year, Von Miller said he got it, and the only thing he did was he had a guy come in and clean his fish tank, and he got it from the guy who cleaned his fish tank.
Well, there you go.
I'm like, that's just horrible. Oh yeah, John Harris is hoping it's a false positive because we know Dawkins is vaccinated. 2 negative tests in 24 hours apart, can bring him back.
Yep.
So hope it's a false and we get him back, but I'm not counting on it. Usually if guys land on the COVID list, it's 2 weeks before they come back.
Yeah. That's a huge loss, by the way.
Yeah.
We're already average at best, and minus one of our best offensive linemen. That's yikes, Mikey. That's not good.
And not even just for the Panthers game, but if he's really out the 2 weeks, that means he's gonna be
that's
out.
That's what I'm saying.
The Monday night game against
the
Patriots.
Dude, that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
that's a big loss, man. Like, why couldn't it have been like,
I like that, John. John comes in and says Bates at left tackle. I would prefer Bates over Doyle or Hart.
Yeah, Doyle looked bad.
Don't forget, Bobby Hart's on the roster. He's on the practice squad.
I know. Ugh,
we might get a Bobby Hart sighting.
Oh no. Oh man. God no. I don't know. Bakker's pretty awful, at left guard too. So that's a rough one. I don't know what you do there.
John comes in and says, I caught something from the girl that cleans my pool, but that's just another story.
Good old pool girl, huh? All
right. So let's kick into to this week's. First off, we'd like to thank Mr. Rogers Homes for sponsoring Tailgate Talk. He's a fantastic partner for #sports, and all of the charity money that we get goes to M25 Farms and Rick Rarick, and we appreciate him and everything that they do for Buffalo. So let's get into last week. We started off with the predictions. You had it 33-24. I had it 30-27. We both were wrong because we lost. It happens. For X Factors, you had Allen. I had Diggs. You had Milano. I had Oliver. Honestly, you hit on Allen. He was a
Milano
wrecking crew.
Milano was beast mode too, bro. Milano was laying hits. Bro, Milano's been playing out of his mind this season. I'm sorry. He's lived up to his contract. Allen was playing like a dog. And Mikey, I got to tell you, you kind of disappointed me during that game. I got to be honest with you. And I talked about this on my Thursday show. If you would have hopped on or watched, a lot of Debbie Downers, Bills fans. And And listen, guys, I recall a game back in the playoffs against a team called the Houston Oilers. And I was sitting on that couch watching, and people left. And I remember people leaving Orchard Park.
Right? Yeah.
Getting out of there. That would have been Mikey. Mikey mad leaving. Then Mikey would have been running back. Trying to get back in.
I'm not a leaver. I'm not a lever. If I'm paying my money, I'm watching it to the end.
But you were very negative in this game. And what did Tommy say? What was Tommy saying? Now hold on now, Mikey. If now wait, now maybe now if we get a stop here, now it could happen. And Mikey, what did the Buffalo Bills defense give up for the third and fourth quarter? How many points?
3.
3 points against who? Against who? Who's their quarterback? Right, that's right.
Some girl named Brady.
Right. And are they not a very good offense and defense for what we did? And I get it. A lot of Bills fans were trashing me after the game. I totally get it. But there is a positive take from this game, guys. That team that you saw in the second half, if that team can come and play 4 quarters, the next 4 games and into the playoffs, we have a really good, big opportunity, even with this bad offensive line. I'm telling you, that's what we need to see. The heart, the fight, and we'll be okay. But you guys can't give up on a team, man. You can't. This isn't the 1998 Bills, 99 Bills, 2000 Bills, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. I mean, I can go on and on and on. This is a way different team. A different coaching staff, a different GM, a different quarterback.
We'll get into the coaching staff.
I'm just saying.
We'll get into the coaching staff.
Oh well, Dable. I'm not talking about this. Listen,
No, I'm talking about McDermott. We'll get into
me and
McDermott.
Dable.
Me, I was on that. I want to punch McDermott in the face train on last week, and but I'm like I'll tell you, Tommy. We talk during the games. We text back and forth. I didn't see anything in the first half that looked anything like that gave me any signs that we were going to do that in the second half. The game script completely changed. All of a sudden, Dable started calling motions and misdirections and unleashing Josh. Like, we haven't seen that since 2020.
Right.
Like that offense that we had in the second half, I haven't seen it all this year. That's the first time I saw it.
100%. I agree. I mean, why didn't they start that from the beginning of the game? It was almost like a desperation, like, fuck it. Like, let's just go back to like whatever we did last year, Dable. Just push it out there, like, and it worked, bro. We are much better running outside, right? What happened in the second half? Who got kind of the spark going? I get Allen play like a dog, but who else? Motor Singletary had huge plays, man, huge runs. You got to run a little bit. Remember, I told you. I agree. We're a passing team. No doubt about it. And that's how we got to be. But you got to run here and there. And if you're going to run, you got to run to the outside because that's where our offensive line play the best. They are good at pulling out. They're good at pin and pulls. That's what they're not. Listen, if you think Devin Singletary, any of these running backs are going to get between the tackles and run in the middle, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. No. And they got to stop running Allen up the middle too. Like, I hate that call. Whenever they do the quarterback draw, it never works. Never. Mm-hmm. He gets stuffed instantly. So, yeah, bro. Play to our strength. That's all I'm saying. And I think all season we have done the opposite. We have tried to, like, be a team that we're not. Like, stop it. Just go back to what we do best. Do that shit in the offseason. Fix the offensive line, and then fine. We can play a little different ball if you want to do next season when we got linemen that can bulldoze a defensive line that can get our guys some yardage. See,
you're assuming that we're gonna go get linemen that can do that.
I'm hoping. I didn't say I assume. I said go out and do it. It doesn't mean they will. I was hoping they would do that last season, but listen, and I talked about this too. A lot of fans have to understand this is football. There's a cap space. Mm-hmm. We all want players. Like, go get them, sign them, trade for there's a cap, guys. Like, it sucks, but remember, we only had so much money to work with, right? We got Milano back. Well worth it. Great investment. I think you had to sign Josh Allen. That's a good investment. Mm-hmm. Well worth it. But then you're working with limited numbers, right? I'm just saying, like, there's only so much you could do. There could be a top free agent out there, but it doesn't mean you can afford them. That's why the draft is key when you're trying to get offensive linemen on the cheap. Get them on a rookie deal.
Let's put this in perspective. Yes, we signed Josh. That contract doesn't kick in for 2 more years.
No, I get that. But we didn't have that much money.
No, it's because we're giving freaking $10 million to Vernon Butler to sit on inactive.
Yeah, but that's an old contract, Mikey. I'm talking about last season. I get that. That is on me. No.
This year we could have cut him and saved $7.5 million. They chose to keep him.
Well, that's ridiculous.
But
they did the same with Trent Murphy.
Exactly, and then we brought back, Mongo, who hasn't been healthy.
Yeah, but they're not paying him that much, Mike. I don't think that's it. That's
like $6
million. I think the Darrell Williams contract's a little bit more overpaid than the Mongo. I get Mongo hasn't been on the field,
at least Williams is producing something.
Now he is. Thank God, because Spencer Brown shifted over, but that might not have happened if Spencer Brown wasn't there, right? I'm just saying it worked out, sure, but
we're paying Star a ton of money, and he's been out.
Star, don't even go there with Star with his hurt.
We're paying Jerry Hughes a ton of money, and he's been MIA. Like, has anybody even seen Jerry Hughes in the last 3-4 games?
No, but once again, I'm not going back to old contracts.
We're paying a lot of money for a defensive line for guys that aren't producing. I agree. The issue. That money, if we didn't have those guys, and we won't have them next year, those guys are all going to be gone, and the money that we have left over, I think we're going to have like $25 million next year in the cap, and then we can release some guys and make it go higher. But overall, we'll be able to go out and put some more money into our O-line.
No,
I think
for
we need to
sure.
draft it. I think we need to draft it personally.
No, you do, but there is going to be some free agents that are worth paying. You know that. There is a now how many? I don't know. Usually offensive linemen, as you know, there's very few out there. They usually get re-signed right away by their teams. So that is that's not happening. I think you got to draft the lineman. Defensive lineman, you can find a free agent, a solid one, and pay him.
Yeah.
Just depends what you want to pay him. Offensive line, I think you got to build through the draft, bro. You got to build through the draft and kind of get lucky on some of these guys.
Look at Eli Nku. Our practice squad guy. He's come in and he got a sack last week. He's been solid since we brought him off the practice squad.
That's true. Yeah, no, you're right.
I want to hit what Dave says. He said, "What did Star get paid last year for sitting out? Nothing, because he sat out. His contract got kicked down the road.
It was like void. It was like a void. Yeah.
No, it wasn't even a void. They just it was like an unused year. So we didn't.
That's what I mean. I'm sorry. It was like a scratch. It was like a
scratch. So his contract got pushed 2 years. So instead of being able to get out of it next year, we have to hold him next year and then be able to get out of it the year after because he opted out.
It's just crazy how that guy can't be healthy, bro. That's wild to me, man. Him and Mongo, like, what is going on there with these guys, bro? They can't stay. They can't get on the field, bro. Like that's so disappointing, bro. You sit a whole year and you still can't. You're not ready. Are you kidding me? Yeah. You're not in football shape. Like, what is going on here, man?
I don't know. And
I mean, I don't know what a toe injury is. I'll be honest with you, Mike. I'm not a toe doctor, but I mean, my God, if Josh is playing through pain, buddy, come on, dude.
There's a difference. There's a difference. Just remember, he's on his toes in a 3-point stance.
No, I get it, man. He's killing me, man. He's still killing me, toe or not. Yeah. Get in the fucking game, play hurt, bro. Players in the 80s, 90s, to early 2000s, even they play hurt all the time, bro. You know that. You got to bro. Yeah. Football's a hurt sport, bro. You play hurt to help your team. It sucks, but hey, that's your job, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Richard Forbes comes in and says Williams wasn't in football shape either. He wasn't. He's slow out at tackle. Like with Dawkins possibly being out, knowing that there's a possibility that Williams has to go back outside. Because I think what they could do is they could take Spencer Brown, stick him at left, put Williams at right, bring Mongo back, and have Bucker and Mongo in the middle. I don't like that idea. I'd much rather see Bates at left tackle.
Yeah.
And leave the rest of the guys fine. Why mess up multiple positions because one guy's out? But I don't like seeing Williams speed guys, and we're going up against Hakeem Reddick, and we're going to go against Brian Burns, who are both speed rushers.
Yeah,
is going to eat Williams up at right tackle if he's out there.
It's just
even though we're not talking preview yet. We're not talking preview yet. We'll get.
I hate it. Musical chairs, man. I can't take it, man.
Richard Forbes, extra large pizza and wings are not good for Williams.
Yeah, man. What was his deal? He got paid. He came out of shape. What the fuck, man?
Come
on, bud. That's just disappointing, man.
We'll go into the first half was very, very disappointing. Defense gave up big plays. Offense couldn't get out of their own way. I don't know what Daboll was calling, but it just looked horrible. And then, second half, like all of a sudden a switch hit. They started using motion. We saw McKenzie running motion and swing passes that people would jump into. So then we got Singletary on the outside.
Yep.
Sealing in and running them on the outside. That was looking good. Josh Allen got in a rhythm and got going. He ran. I loved the power sweep, quarterback power sweep. I've been calling for that for a couple weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got, honestly, the biggest change was when Sanders got hurt and Davis came in. The offense seemed to start clicking a little bit more. And I love Manny Sands, and I think he's a fantastic receiver. But it almost feels like Josh was free. He wasn't trying to force it to Sanders. He just hit the open guy, and the offense started clicking.
Exactly. So, yeah, bro. They got it. Gabe Davis is our biggest target as of right now, as a starting receiver, right? 6'2", wide body, for the most part. He's a good weapon for Josh Allen. The problem is we got a couple problems in receiving room that I maybe overlooked heading into the season. One, we don't have a lot of big receivers, right? Like the Chargers, for instance, right? They got big receivers.
We don't have
bro.
Mike Williams.
Like,
we don't have the Mike Williams or the
right.
Cooks.
Exactly. So you don't have that big target where you can just throw it up there and let your dude go get it, right? That's a problem, especially in red zone, right? Or like short. He was dropping them last night, Herbert to Cooks and Mike Williams. So,
Brady did it to Evans against us. That throw, a touchdown throw. No one else is catching that other than Mike Williams.
That's what I'm saying. That's right. And then the other thing I think we've been missing, and I talked about this last night too, we don't have that over the top guy. We had that in John Brown last year, who was obviously we know what happened. He lost a step.
Mm-hmm.
He got hurt. But that's a huge thing to be missing. When you have that speed, I'm not saying Diggs is slow, but he's not the over the top guy.
Yeah.
That's why I was kind of hoping McKenzie would play a little bit bigger of a role this season, because he's our fastest player, and Marquez.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like they kind of limited him.
McKenzie is smaller.
I know, but
I would like to see Marquez Stevenson on the
they're
outside.
Not going. I would like to here and there, but they're not. So I think either way, my point is, even if they put him out there, the defense has to look at him. So I just feel like we've been limited to that all season. And when they put Isaiah in the game in the second half, started using him more, that's just a dynamic that we weren't using all season. Like, that's what we need, man. And Gabe Davis, another dynamic he's not the hugest receiver, but he's our tallest. 6'2". He can go out there. He makes a lot of sideline catches. He's probably our most physical receiver. Right? Like we can all vouch for that. He made that huge fourth down, right? I don't think Diggs would have, or Beasley, right? They probably would have just fell or got tackled right away. So that's another thing. Yards after catch. A lot of our receivers not getting them. Gabe Davis, we need Gabe Davis, man. I think Gabe Davis over Emmanuel Sanders right now. I'm liking it more, man. Even if Emmanuel comes back, I like Emmanuel, but I think Gabe Davis brings a different dynamic. Is all I'm saying.
Maybe
I'm not saying keep it.
No, so maybe what we need to do is run a 4 wide receiver set, put Diggs and Davis on the outside, and put Sanders and Beasley in the slots.
Right. Mm-hmm.
If that's what you want to do, stop trying to use Emmanuel Sanders only as an outside receiver.
Yep, exactly.
Or there's at times, especially when Beasley was hurt with his rib injuries, maybe slide Manny Sands into slot. You don't have to run Beasley every play. Let him swap in and out. Or put McKenzie in there in the slot. Get him the ball.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, the second half was exactly how I want to see the Bills run their offense.
Mm-hmm.
Get to the outside more. Get the linemen to move more. Bro, Mitch Morse is excellent at getting to the outside and blocking, run blocking. Inside, I think he's bad. Like, he's just not his thing. But man, he's one of
power. He's not a power
but on the outside, he's one of the best centers to move. And Spencer Brown he had a bad first half, but if you notice that second half, when he got to moving on the outside on some of these design runs, my God, bro, he was plowing through people.
He was taking two guys out every time.
Right. So, like, my point is play to our strengths. I'll continue to say this. Dable and McDermott need to stop with this. We got to be a certain way because that's the way I want it to be. Listen, stop. It's not working. We're 7-6. Do what works. And then if you want that in the future, then have Brandon Beane. You guys figure it out. But right now, we're trying to make the playoffs and play to our best. So do what's best for the team. Stop with that nonsense you've been doing most of the season.
Yeah, Dave comes and says, how about that lead blocking Mitch did for Josh? Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
When you pulled Mitch, when we pulled Mitch and we pulled Brown together out there, they were clearing holes, dude. Those two guys were clearing holes.
Dude. You don't want that guy running at you. Spencer Brown, that's a big dude, bro. And he's only going to get bigger.
320. Yeah, 6'9", 320.
He's going to get bigger, too. I keep telling people, he's raw. Him and Gregory Rousseau were not meant to start. I keep telling people, these guys are learning on the fly, bro. And if they're starting already, that tells you a lot about what they're going to be like in the future. Get ready. These guys are only going to get better.
It's exciting to think about what they're going to be in the future.
It really is. It really is.
You know,
so you can't knock Brandon. Listen, we might have got lucky on it, but Brandon Beane drafted him. He did get Spencer Brown. We were all screaming they should have got offensive lineman. So to his credit, he did. He got a starting right tackle. I mean, I'm just saying. So it worked out.
Right. It's working out. So we'll see what they're going to do when we get into the preview. So we had a stellar second half. We saw the big comeback. You know, I didn't like the first one where we were driving and it was 4th and 2 and he punted, and then they went down and scored 3 points, and that's the only 3 points they got in the second half. McDermott has seemed to turtle up when it comes to going for it. He said after the Titans game, you know, if we're there, I'd do it again. I trust my guys. He didn't, because he had the chance on 4th and 2 and he didn't take it. Then he also had the chance to end it when Diggs got pass interfered and they didn't call it. And he could have went for it again on a 4th and 2. Instead, he kicked the field goal, and then we got the ball, 3 and out, gave them the ball, they scored a touchdown, game over. Yeah. So he says he was gonna go, you know, continue to trust his guys, but I didn't see him trust them at all that whole game.
McDermott's been weird, I gotta say, because some like 2020, I thought he was aggressive, right? Like except for the Kansas City game. Other than that, I thought he played pretty aggressive football last season. We went for a lot last season on 4th down. This
but
season,
not in the playoffs.
However,
the playoffs
that's
started?
what I'm saying, right? The playoffs in general. I think the whole playoffs we played it safe. I'll be honest with you, since the first game all the way to. But my point is the season, right?
Yeah.
This season, it's like he's like one week he's not playing it safe, and the next week he is. Like he can't. It's like he can't make his mind up. But then yet he goes for a fake punt on 4th down, but doesn't go for it on another 4th down. Like,
well, if you're gonna go for it, give the ball to Josh. Don't run a fake punt to where Breida falls down.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't, and you're giving it to Breida, like, who's been like, listen, let's be real. Breida's, he is what he is. I told you guys that. Didn't I not tell? I'm not saying I'm hating Breida. I'm just saying he's not what everybody thought. There's a reason why he's not a starting running back. Right. There's a reason why he didn't start Miami. There's a reason why San Francisco didn't keep him around. Like, there's a reason. I'm just saying he's fast, no problem. But then fine, use him as a decoy or a jet sweep guy or whatever. Like, use his speed for an advantage, but he's not a running back. I'm sorry. He's not like an every down back. Our best guy right now is Motor, and that's it. And I don't want to see no fake punt by Breida, a guy who's been fumbling, like, who can't clinch a football, you know, like, that's the last guy.
He slipped and fell down. You know, and John comes in and says he's an outside zone speed back. And that's really, yes, you can run him that way, but really where Breida excels is in the pass game.
Yeah,
he's more of a pass catching back. Get him out, you know, run the screen passes, run little arrow routes, run flat routes, swing passes, get him out in space and let him try to use his speed. That's where he would excel the most. Handing him the football, we watched what happened when we handed him the football against New England and he dropped it. He's not a true running back. Right.
So it'd be interesting to see him and Motor in the backfield at different times at the same time. Like, because you can kind of create a little bit, you know, the defense not knowing. I wouldn't mind that. And then you have Breida go out for a pass. You know what I mean? Or Motor for a run. Like, you can get creative. Dable can get creative with having Breida, a speedster, out there, just like having McKenzie when McKenzie's in jet motion. It's the same thing. Doesn't mean they have to get the ball. It just means the defense has to be looking at him. It's confusing. Like, once we started doing that, if you noticed, it's so funny. NFL's so great at camera work, but when the game was turning, right, momentum is everything, right? And it's so great how the camera always goes to each sideline when shit's going bad, right? And you or good, and you see like players like smile, and then the next half, like Brady, you see him like he's like all concerned. The players like sweating, you know, like you see the momentum slowly shifting. The camera goes to that side, right? And it's just like you could feel it. The camera feels it. NFL's not. That's how it works, man. And when bro, you saw the momentum going in our favor in that second half. We just couldn't close the show. Unfortunately, though, I will say, and I don't blame the refs for everything, Mikey, those, come on, man. Like, Diggs is a top receiver in this league. Bro, he grabbed him on the inside of his jersey.
That wasn't even the worst one.
No,
how about the one where
Evans
he's running down the field and the guy's holding his shirt?
That was worse. That was worse because he had him. Bro, that's like almost like a collar tackle.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that to me was atrocious. That's one. And the Mike Evans play.
Well, where he grabbed Levi Wallace and pulled him into himself.
Like, dude, refs, if you're not going to give us the call, go ahead.
I want to get to this. Richard Forbes comes in and says, "Who's to say the whole line wouldn't have got blown up on the fake punt play?" You know what? I would live with that by giving Josh a chance or the offense a chance rather than running a fake punt. Like,
oh yeah,
4th and 2. Now, I don't want to go the whole Brandon Staley way. Like, if you watched the game last night where he went forward on every 4th down, I swear he hates his kicker. Because he went forward on every 4th down he possibly can and gave the game to the Chiefs by not kicking any of the field goals. But I would like to see that as they're rolling and Josh got going, give him the ball. Let him do his thing. We were getting going and he just wouldn't. And then it bothered me. McDermott's lack of guts. Since the Tennessee game, he's played it very, very safe constantly.
Yeah.
So we'll keep going through here. So our next one was about our special teams. Obviously, we just talked about the lovely fake punt that had Burrito falling down. Bass was money like Bass normally is. I think that's the best hawk I've seen all year. The kick that he had, that 64-yarder that flipped it in overtime, was huge.
We just couldn't execute. Huge. It's too bad. Yeah. It was it was huge. Like, I was not expecting it. I was like, oh, here we go. He's gonna kick it to like the 35-40, and they're just gonna go down, and that's a wrap. And I'm like, damn, okay, Hawk. Like,
you got it.
But of course, it meant nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. Pookie L comes in and says, what happened to Emmanuel Sanders' production?
Age, possibly too. I mean, I'm just being for real. These guys slow down. It's a long season. Yeah. I kind of felt like I'm telling you, Mikey, this whole season, when we're talking about coaches, I kind of feel like they did this team a little wrong, like McDermott and Dable. Like, why not have the youngster play a little bit more snaps than Emmanuel? Have Emmanuel be more toward the end of the season where he's helped, like, limit his reps, right? He is older. Mm-hmm. We have to admit that. Like, why not have him ready for the, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Gabe Davis is young. You saw what he did last year. Like, give him a little bit more playing. Like, it just didn't make sense. That's one. Two, like, I kind of felt like the whole McKenzie thing, like, just taking him totally out of the offense was unnecessary when it worked last year. There's just a lot of stuff, man, I didn't like, But yeah, I kind of felt like they dropped the ball there. And I think now they're seeing like, because, people are talking now, media saying, hey, Gabe Davis fans, Gabe Davis. And now, like, coach is like, yeah, we trust him. Bro, they have no choice now. You see, McKenzie's week to week. McKenzie may not play till the last game of the season. Who knows if he even plays?
McKenzie?
I mean, not McKenzie. I'm sorry, Sanders.
Sanders? Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm like, did I miss an injury?
Yeah, no, my bad. I meant Sanders. Sorry, got ahead of myself. But yeah, McKenzie. No, I meant Sanders.
Yeah, why can
no? By the way, they're not going to play Stevenson. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So why comes in says some of our coaches aren't the sharpest tools in the shed. We've talked about it ad nauseum about our thoughts on our coaches this year. Josh's ankle is concerning. Not really.
Not his ankle.
He practiced all week. Yeah, it was his foot. He had a foot sprain.
It's a foot. It's the bone that's right after. I believe they said right after your toes, like your first part of your foot. There's a bone in there, and it's like a freak kind of. Not a lot of players get it. It's like a foot sprain, they say, but it's not as bad. It's basically, from what I was told, it's more of a pain tolerance at this point. Yeah. There's nothing they could do. It's more, he's not going to hurt it even more. They said it's like one of those things where he can't hurt it more, right? So it's just more like Josh is going to have to play through a little pain, which is, he's a tough boy. He'll be fine. So It's not his ankle sprain. That thank God, because that would have been even worse, guys. Ankle sprain, turf toe. This is the best news we could have got, to be honest with you, for Josh's injury. So he'll be okay. He'll be okay.
I want to hit the comments real quick. It says Puka comes in and says we should have signed Cordell Patterson. You know what? Me and you talked about this in training camp when we first started this show. That was the guy that me and you both said, man, can you imagine him coming in? He could kick return, punt return, play receiver, play running back. He's a little bit of a jack of all trades.
Yeah, he is, man. I like him a lot, bro. Atlanta stole that dude, bro. He's Atlanta's whole offense. I mean, pretty much. But hey, you can't win them all. You're not, it's how NFL works, man. You never know.
This is Josh is our RB1.
He almost is. He's like off by like 20 yards.
Seriously, Josh at this point is our biggest weapon on offense. I think they said 91% of our offense is run through Allen.
Yeah. Well, that's why I get so mad when Bills Mafia just wants to rip Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear it all the time, and I get so frustrated. It's just like, oh, we're paid him. We overpaid quarterback, can't win the big games, blah, blah, blah. It's like, guys, you watch football, right? I know you do. Don't just look at a few things that's going on. If you watch the whole game, you understand what this kid's bringing to the table, right? Like, bad offensive line. No running backs because of the offensive line. He's doing everything he can, and he's producing. But he's not going to be able to do everything perfectly. Like, it's tough out there, guys. It ain't easy. Put any other quarterback. And that's why I get so frustrated with fans, because it's like, oh, okay, so we go get another quarterback. You want to see what problem city is in Buffalo? It's going to be a fucking disaster. Yeah. Okay, this is our number one best option we have, and thank God we have him. So stop with the whole we overpaid, because I think you're going to love this guy for years and years to come. But one more thing I want to throw out there. We have to, in time, limit his running, or he's going to turn into Cam Newton. I'm telling you guys, he can only go through so much hits, guys. In time, you got to slow that down. That's why getting a running attack for this
is going to be
team
important
in the future is huge, man. You have to. You cannot. He can't keep the pace up, is my point. You can't. It will not last, Mike.
I was listening to Rich Eisen's podcast news talking about Josh Allen. He's like, if you gave this kid a running game, truly gave him a running game, because you think about it, he's 90% of the offense. You gave this kid a running game, and he's going to be really dangerous, because then you have to worry about something other than him.
Right.
Since he's been here, it's been Josh or nobody. Then Diggs came last year, and Josh and Diggs hooked up and, became a thing. But for the most part, they've never had to fear the running game in Buffalo since Allen's been here. You give him that option where he could play action or, do the misdirections and get out on the own so they can't just pin their ears back and come after him. He's going to be real dangerous, because he went through it. He said Mahomes has a running game with Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers has Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
That's right.
You go through all the top quarterbacks, and they're in the listen to how everyone's talking about Mac Jones, right? Talking about how he's the next Tom Brady. Mac Jones doesn't throw the ball over 10 yards.
Mac Jones did not beat us.
Mac Jones looks good because he has a running game.
Right. None of the quarterbacks beat us, by the way, Mikey. But I agree. Listen, they don't have the best running backs. They have good, tough running backs with, by the way, a very good offensive line. Okay? A very good offensive line that can make these running backs look maybe a little bit better than they are. Trust me. Put New England's offensive line, let's swap, right? Motor Singletary will look way better, I promise you, than what he's showing.
You take Josh Allen and you stick him on the Patriots with the same core.
Right. Forget about it.
They're going to be hard to beat with that defense and that running game, and then Allen throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
They'd be hard 100%. to beat.
Yeah, but it
John
starts
Herring
up
comes
front.
in and says, John Herring comes in and says, there's no such thing as overpaying for a franchise quarterback. So all the people that are complaining about it,
Nope.
there's no such thing. We have our guy.
Yeah.
If you are upset, we paid Josh Allen. Go back and look at the years with Tyrod Taylor and JP Losman. Although I love Losman, EJ Manuel, Trent Edwards.
Since Jim Kelly.
Yeah,
Let's just be frank.
Go back and look. We were looking for the guy. We have him.
Right.
Be happy.
Right. Exactly.
You know.
And by the way, guys, as the years go on, this deal is going to be cheap. That's how it works.
Yeah.
The next big quarterback's going to be, trumping his, and then the next guy after that trumping his. So we're fine. Don't get so upset.
Not
Trust
only
me.
That, the cap is about to explode.
Right.
Because of the new TV money. So we signed him now, but when it kicks in is when the cap kicks in. So it's not like he's taking up a huge chunk of money. Matter of fact, he's not taking up any more money because the first year of, I think, if it's a new deal is when the cap kicks in, and what the growth to that is actually what Josh's contract is.
Right.
So, ultimately going forward, he doesn't take up that much more of our money, and we have him for 8 years. 2 more on his rookie deal, and then 6 after.
You gotta be happy with that deal. People listen. People complaining about Josh Allen, they don't watch football. Then I'm being real with you guys. I'm not trying to offend anyone on here that doesn't like Josh Allen, but then you really don't pay attention to football through all 4 quarters. You're only seeing what you want to see, or you're only seeing the few mistakes that he does, and you're just overreacting. You're being the Debbie Downer that I talked about, and it sucks because I get it. Like I told you guys, I understand the frustration because it's not like me and Mike are, 20 years old and we've been watching since 2015. We only know 2 years of struggle. I've been watching since '89. Mike's been watching probably the same time as me. And listen, I've gone through it. Like I get it. So nobody could tell me about frustrations more than myself. I get it. But I also see that we sucked for 17, 18 straight seasons, and we finally are turning the page. So I'm not going to be Debbie Downer every time things don't go perfect every season. It takes a minute, guys, to build a team, man. They've only been here this is their 4th season. That's it, right? With Josh Allen under helms. So give him a little break. That's all I'm saying. And listen, me and Mike will come on here and we will talk and we will say what we don't like, right? We're not on here just like, oh, the Bills are the best. Like, that's not us. We're going to tell you what we don't like. But I'm going to be real.
If Josh is sucking, we'll tell you Josh is sucking.
Yeah, if Josh had a regression of a year and he was throwing 55% completion percentage, 18 interceptions, I would say, man, Houston, we got a problem. It's his 4th season. He's regressing. That's not good. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. He's on pace to do better than he did last year. Leave him alone. He's fine. It's the off. We know what we need to fix here. It's a little bit too late. We're week 15, but we're going to be okay, guys. The team's going to be okay. I trust the GM, and believe it or not, I still trust the coach for now. I don't trust the other coaching staff that we have on, which hopefully they'll take care of. But right now, we are where we're at, guys. That's my rant.
By the way, Richard Ford comes in and says, offend away, buddy. Offend away. This is not what we're here for. We're here to, give you our takes and then also bring your takes in. Because ultimately that's what this show is. It's like if we were all sitting out at the tailgate just chatting football. That's what this show's supposed to be. So, it's like when Josh played bad against Jacksonville, we said it. It's okay. Oh, yeah. He had a bad game. 100%. That happens. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and we're gonna call it how we see it. I did see a comment up here. I have to go back to it. I loved it. Okay, Carl put it in here. Carl says putting it all on Josh is not a winning formula. He's absolutely 100% correct. The way we're running our offense, where Allen has to put on a cape and be Superman every play. We're not a winning team that way. We need to be able to have other people step up and help. And first half last week, Josh was trying to do it himself. Second half last week, although Josh did most of it himself, you saw big catches by Gabe. You saw big catches by Diggs and Beasley and Knox, and Singletary got going. And you saw those supporting guys actually doing stuff. What I need to see more of is what happened last night in the Kansas City game. 10-yard pass and then a 40-yard after the catch run. Right now we have guys catching the ball and falling down. There is 0 yak yards on the Bills.
We talked, right? Didn't I bring that up? Right?
Yes.
Yards after catch, man. It's just like, that's why I'm saying Gabe Davis, as of right now, is probably our most physical receiver who can get maybe a little bit more yards after catch than, let's say, a Diggs or a Beasley. Beasley falls down right away. Like if he's touched, he's down. Like he's not giving much after that. Diggs, but right now, like you said, man, could it also be just the play designs too, just not giving them a chance to get yards after catch? There could be a lot to it, but I think Gabe Davis right now, we got to use him more, Mikey. And let's go back to our number one killer besides the offensive line. So I'll say our number 2 killer this season, red zone. And I've been saying it. I've been saying it. It's been a problem. And I think Dable has no answers right now. He doesn't. And it's a problem because it gets tight down there. And we have no offensive line to run anyone with. And the defense knows Josh Allen is our goal line guy. And they're just hawking him. And we're not getting points. You have to get Gabe Davis down there, a physical receiver who can, bulldoze, play physical on a cornerback and get open. Because it's just not going to happen with the rest of them.
It's the reason why Dawson Knox has so many touchdowns, is because he's one of our big receivers down there.
100%. But now his hand's like a balloon. So
yeah. I mean, he did get back into the end zone last week.
He did.
We did see a run after the catch with Knox. He broke a tackle and busted it down. I
loved the play call. I got to give Dable credit. There was a play call, and he didn't do it again. And I've never seen it all season. I love the play call where Dawson Knox was lined up almost on the inside as a lineman, and he backed up like he was going to block, and he took off, and nobody guarded him. And he took off for 40 yards, something like that.
Because it was almost like a mini tight end screen where Josh rolled right, tossed it over him, got it to him. He broke a tackle and busted one down the sidelines. It was awesome.
I love that play.
I loved they schemed it up.
They schemed it right. That's what I mean. But we have seen very few of that by Dable this season. He did a lot of that last season. It's like he finally came out of his shell the second half. And that's what I guess I'm bringing a positive out of that loss. Mm-hmm. That hopefully Dable now can go, hey, wait a minute. Maybe maybe this will work. Maybe if we do this, it will work again. Maybe defenses aren't, prepared for that, right? Because I think maybe Dable and McDermott overthought things. Maybe they thought the defenses were going to know what our game plan was, and they needed to switch it up for 2021, and they went away from that offense. I'm just saying, it's very possible. Go back to what works. What do you got to lose? We talked about this last week, right? We just said the same thing. Dial it up. Go back to what works and see what happens. And I think they did that in the second half. Because, Mikey, what did we have to lose in that game? We're down so many points.
Yeah.
Who cares? At this point, dial it up. And we did, and look what happened, guys. I think we dialed it up on defense, too. We set Matt Milano on blitzes, and I told you guys, I think when we send our linebackers on blitzes, I love it. They get home almost every time. Matt Milano, they do. And man, that sack on Brady was fucking huge.
You know what? And it was a fantastic line stunt that freed him up. See, that's the thing. I don't want things to get lost in the shuffle, and that happens a lot. As we go through this. I watched Oliver take on 2 guys again all game long, and which freed up other guys to get there, like Eli Anku got there. Milano got there multiple times. It's the line stunts were working in the second half, and we were sending exotic blitzes, and we were confusing Brady. We were confusing Brady of all things,
Right.
you know,
Right.
because when we went down and we scored and, you know, we got it within, what was it, within 7, Brady got up, was like, okay, guys, now's the time. I thought for sure they were going to march down, kick the field goal, go back up by 10, you
Right.
know, and we came out and we stopped them, you know, and then it was our ball and Josh drove us down and scored again. And then, you know, we had a chance again. And it's just like,
we were down so many points, Mikey. I'm telling you,
Mhm.
even I didn't really realize it until the game was over and I looked at the final stats that we only held them to 3 points. Like, that's how big we were down, like how the
Yeah.
game was going. Like, I didn't even realize it. Like I said, I'm like, wait a minute, 3 points. That's it. Like, that's impressive, guys. You really don't get it. Like, Tom Brady and that offense is electric. They were lighting us up and we shut them down like
in the second half.
That was it. Like we just, something happened. Like, I don't know. Like, the team came together. Like, they had like this come together meeting, and if it wasn't for the refs, man, I gotta say, who knows? But it is what it is. I'm not gonna totally blame them, but my God.
we
move
control the controllable is what they say.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, the refs are what the refs are, and
they mess up on a lot of. They
missed calls. It happened. But we also didn't execute on some of the plays that we could have that could have got us the win. So
100%. 100%. But we move on. We move on. And hopefully the team got something from that. You know, I'm being for real here, guys. I'm not a Dolphin fan, but I'm telling you guys, the Dolphins took that loss against us and they used it for a positive, and they've been winning ever since. Like, because they played us really well. Their defense finally came alive against the Buffalo Bills. We barely beat them, but that defense has been lit since. Like, something happened. Something happened in that game where they were like, you know what? And I'm really hoping that the Buffalo Bills in whole, something happened in that second half where we're going to get some momentum building. I'm really hoping. I could be wrong, but sometimes, guys, games like that can turn a team around, man. The Cardinals game is a perfect example. I'm just saying, we lost and we went on a huge winning streak after. Can happen. Yeah. Momentum's weird like that.
No, I agree. Matter of fact, last year Tony Romo talked about it on the broadcast. He said the Tampa Bay Bucks were in the same type of thing against the Patriots at the time, and they made a storming comeback, and the Patriots held them off. They said it looks eerie similar to, you know, the Bills' season this year looks eerie similar to what the Bucks did last year. You know,
right?
So we'll see if it happens.
Right.
But that kind of covers the preview. Do you have anything left on the recap? Do you have anything left on the recap that you want to talk about before we move on?
No. I think honestly, I'm not going to worry about the first half. I only can think about what we did the second half, and I feel like we learned a lot from that game. And I think the coaching staff learned a lot, you know, at least what they need to do moving forward. And like I said, I think it's a good thing, even though we lost. And by the way, I said this in the beginning of the year, 3 or 4 home games at the last might play a factor. And boy, oh boy, it's probably going to play a factor. So moving on.
Moving on. And at this moment, we'd like to thank LinkedIn, who is our mid-show sponsor. We appreciate everything that they do for us. It says, these days, it can be hard to find and hire the right candidate for your small businesses. That's why LinkedIn Jobs makes it easier to find the people that you want to talk to faster and for free, which, as a former manager who used to do hiring, it could get very difficult, you know, and that you would think it'd be easier nowadays with you know, the amount of people out of work, but you know, finding the right person's not always the easiest. So I wish I would have had LinkedIn back then. It would have been a lot more helpful. Did you know every week that nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn.com? Post your jobs for free at LinkedIn.com/HTS #sports. That's LinkedIn.com/HTS to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So we thank LinkedIn for sponsoring the mid-show credits of Tailgate Talk.
That's right.
So, all right. So now we're on to the lovely injury report. For out, we have Sanders, who has the bad knee. I haven't heard what's wrong with his knee, if it's long term. I just know it's a knee injury and he's out. Have you heard anything more on that?
No, from what I was told, it was kind of like they're through the replay. It looked like he hobbled out, but it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't look like it was a hit or he fell funny.
So
it
not
just
like a
was
long-term thing? It was probably just a
no.
couple-week thing?
Yeah, it could be just, hey, guys, it's one of those freak kind of knee sprain. Age probably has a factor to do with it. And, yeah, if I had to guess, Mikey, he won't play this week for sure. And if I had to guess, he probably won't play next week.
Mm-hmm.
And he will be back in probably 2 weeks.
For the last two games?
I think last 2 games. If that, listen, it all depends how this offense is going. Let's be real here. If the offense is going good with Gabe Davis, maybe they don't. Maybe even if he comes back healthy, maybe they just limit his reps, and Gabe Davis is that guy now. I'm just saying it could happen. It really could, and I don't hate it. I don't. If Gabe Davis steps up, he's not a huge loss. I'll be real with you right now. I think Gabe Davis it can fill in just fine and do maybe even better.
Yeah. Garrett Hall comes in and says, we don't need Sanders. We need Davis. I would like to see what this offense does this week. Knowing that we had Davis in the second half, we didn't have Sanders. We saw what that second half looks like. If they come out and they put that type of performance together this game, I say we keep running with it. Maybe we use Sanders in the slot when he comes back a little bit more, and, start splitting some of those reps between those slot guys, and, or give Diggs random plays off. But I think we need to introduce Davis more into this offense. Having that big receiver, having that strong receiver is, what we think we've been missing. So, Arkoman 1 comes in and says Gabe Davis is a bigger target. It's almost like a hybrid tight end. You're right. He very much is like a hybrid tight end, isn't he? He's just like when he caught that pass on the sideline and turned and still got the first down, there's not another guy on our team. Like, I don't even think Dawson Knox could have done that. Because Dawson Knox isn't as athletic as Davis is.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. Dawson Knox is pretty damn athletic, bro.
Yeah, but he's like thicker. He's a thicker version of him.
He is, but he's no Tommy Sweeney. Like he can,
no.
He can get some yards. I mean,
that wasn't me knocking.
No, I get it. I get what they're saying. I think he's just a good, bigger receiver than what we. He's our best option. I'm telling you guys, he's a really good option for short yardage plays that we need, a 4th and 3, a goal line presence. Like that's the guy that should be out in the field, man. Like we've been missing that. Like going to these small receiver sets with Diggs and Beasley. And then just having Allen run it, it's just not working in the goal line, man. It's not. Like, get a bigger receiver out there. I wouldn't even mind Kumaro out there. Kumaro's never used. Why not use him in the red zone? He's 6'4", man. I'm just saying. Even if he doesn't get the ball.
Kumaro. I wouldn't mind Kumaro.
I would not mind, bro. Listen,
I do.
What do you got to lose, Mikey, in the red zone? We're awful in the red zone. Really? You don't want? I'll do anything
red zone
right
because
now.
The play calls are hot garbage in the red zone. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, but maybe it is hot
receivers.
garbage. But maybe it's not not really, bro. Red zone, Mikey, very physical down there. You know that things are. That's why it's tough to get touchdowns in the red zone. Everybody knows that. The defense is. They're right there. You've got to win in the trenches, right? You can play super
Hill
physical.
Is the smallest receiver out there, and he's a red zone threat.
Yeah, he's also the most dynamic, fast, electric receiver in the league.
You're telling me that Diggs can't get separation with route combinations?
He can, but it depends where you're lined up in the red zone. I think Diggs sometimes gets a little bullied down there when we're at the 3, 4. He does, because remember, the cornerbacks can play rough for the first 2 or 3 yards. So when you're down there is no pass interference or holding. They can really play physical. So having like a Kumaro or a bigger receiver doesn't hurt. I'm telling you, Mike. You can still have Diggs in the game. I'm not saying take Diggs out of red zone.
I'm not a fan of Kumaro. I'm not a fan of Kumaro.
Hey, listen, We used Kumaro one time in the red zone last year. It was just fine. I'm just saying. And he called it. There was not like he dropped the ball. Like it was a perfectly played.
That wasn't a red zone. That was from like 30
wasn't the
yards
20.
out. And he threw...
No, it wasn't. That was like a 15, 20. I remember because they talked about it. Trust me, Mikey. That was red zone.
It wasn't that,
Josh
wasn't
Allen
that
threw
the
a
same
dart.
drive where they kept moving him back?
Yes, I think so.
After he scored like 3 times?
Yes, I think so. Well, and Josh was like, how many times I got to score? I forget what game that was, but yes.
The Denver game.
Denver. Yes. I'm just saying, Mikey, we're so bad. Mix it up. I'm not saying you have to go to Kumaro, but I would prefer to have a couple bigger receiver targets in there that maybe Josh, when Diggs isn't open, right? You can go and maybe give your taller receiver an opportunity where you could throw it a little bit above, just like the Mike Evans thing, where, hey, it's either going to go out of bounds, right? Or Kumaro or Davis is going to go up there and get it. That's all I'm saying. Diggs, it can't get that. Diggs is short. You know that. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying.
That's fine. Okay.
Not gonna happen.
I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not a huge Kumaro guy.
I get it. Neither am I. I'm just saying, for the red zone, I prefer a taller guy back there when Josh is in trouble. You throw it up high, and if your guy can come down with it because he's that tall, cool. If not, go to Diggs. I don't care. Go to anywhere. Get a touchdown. I'm just tired of not scoring in the fucking red zone. That's all I'm saying.
I don't care how they do it. Just score the damn ball, right?
Right. Dude, put Ed Oliver in fucking tight end. I don't care if he can catch the ball.
Okay, now we're going down the line. So let's get back to the injury report. So we have Sanders who's out. We have Starr and Tywan Jones who are both questionable. Starr with his toe, Jones with his knee. For the Panthers, they have AJ Bayou, the corner, who's out. DJ Moore, Michael Jordan, and John Miller.
What? Michael Jordan?
Yeah, out of Ohio State.
Oh.
Guard out of Ohio State. And then John Miller, former Buffalo Bill guard. Those two are both questionable as well. I think that's it. And then for the Bills, obviously Deion Doxson went on COVID, so he doesn't show up on the injury report.
Correct.
But he doesn't look like he's going to be there. So
no, he won't.
It is what it is. You know, we'll figure out what they're going to do. Don't be surprised if you see the return of my boy. You know, at tackle.
I hope. Oh, God, it's so bad. Don't run that way, Josh. Go the opposite way.
I honestly, I'd rather see Bates at tackle. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I want to see Bates at tackle. Although I do have a feeling what our O line is going to look like. I think we're going to have Brown at left tackle, Williams at right tackle. We're going to have Mongo and Bacher in the middle. I think that's what's going to
Is Mongo finally ready to play some football? Like
he was activated last week. I don't know.
Golly.
He didn't play. He was activated though.
Golly, these guys, bro. Are you ready, Mongo?
White comes in and says, "Come on, Star. That's why God created drugs."
Dude, listen. We talked. You got to listen. It's a hurt sport, man. All these players play with a little injuries, bro. Listen, Cole Beasley played with a goddamn broken leg. Got fucking hurt toe. Come on, buddy. Deal with it. Go out there, take a shot, and deal with it. I know it sucks. I know it hurts, but you got to do it. That's what you get paid for. Like, it's a pain game, bro. Like, Josh isn't feeling good, right? I mean, there's a lot of players, I'm sure. There's a lot of players, too, Mikey, that don't even say they're hurt. I'm sure they're playing hurt. I'm telling you right now. Like, there's guys that are probably just gutting it out. You know what I mean? That's why I think Jerry Hughes gutted out last year. He had some surgery right after. Remember, he was like in the hospital. He had surgery the next day. Mm-hmm. He had something wrong with him. You know what I mean? So these guys play hurt all the time, guys. It's just like, but damn, bro, like you've been out most of the season, Star. Like, come on, bud. Get on the field. Mongo, let's go. Well, like we need you. Let's roll.
Okay, Trey comes in and says Teller Trey should. Okay, listen. Teller was not the Teller you see today when he was with the Buffalo Bills. Teller was okay, I guess, his rookie year. Then he went to Bill Callahan, who is the best offensive line coach in football. And he learned. Mm-hmm. He couldn't make the team here. He couldn't beat out Spain. He couldn't beat out Mongo, so that he had some value, so they traded him. So, looking at hindsight, yes, Teller trade was bad. At the time, no one was complaining about Teller being moved.
Yeah. Shit, I mean, look at who was the guy, Mikey, that's probably going to the Hall of Fame that we converted from tight end
Jason
to
Peters.
Offensive line. Right.
Jason Peters.
Who knew? Now, we knew he was good, but we're the ones that did it. And he was good, but he wasn't Hall of Fame good when we got rid of him. Or else we wanted him.
He went to Philly, and they got linked up with the O-line coach there and took off. It fit the system better.
Took off like a mother.
Listen, it goes back to what we talked about before, Tommy, when we were talking about a lot of it is about the system fit. Because you look 100%. Just look at the quarterbacks. You have Trevor Lawrence. You have Justin Fields. You have Mac Jones. Mac Jones looks like the best of them all because of the system fit.
Oh yeah,
you take Trevor Lawrence and you stick him on that Patriots team. Trevor Lawrence looks like the best quarterback. Trevor Lawrence is way better than Mac Jones.
You're fired. You're fired. You're fired.
I mean, it's a system fits. Teller.
Wait a minute. What are you saying? Urban Meyer wasn't the right guy? How dare you, Mikey?
Oh God! Don't even get me started.
Tough coach like that, kicking his players.
The one that tells your assistant coaches that you hired. Are you a winner? Then you suck. Are you a winner? Then you suck. Come on.
He's stuck in college like that. I'm sure that, trust me, he did that in college and it might have worked then, for that guy. But in the NFL, bud, that might have worked in the 80s, 90s, maybe. You know what I mean? We're like Ditka. Because trust me, guys, if you don't think Ditka was out there kicking players, you're probably wrong. Mike Singletary, who was known to bulldog his players, trust me, it just doesn't happen nowadays. But I'm not saying it was okay to him to do that.
No.
I'm just saying, there was a lot of that going on back in the day. That's all.
Well, you have to remember, Urban Meyer came from where he was a god on campus, and he controlled
BMOC. He was a BMOC, right?
Big man on 19-year-old kids, every aspect of their life.
Worship them.
Coming here to million. Now you're coaching millionaires. You can't run the same type of ship. But I want to get to the chat because Tim Ellis comes in and says, I mean, what about Logan Thomas? We got him right, and he switched. That was
100%.
100%. I agree. Logan Thomas fit a system in Washington. He didn't, he was on our team and he was on our active roster, and he just couldn't get over the hump with us. He went to another system,
and it worked.
And it
happens. It happens, bro. It happens all the time.
It does. Guys leave and they pop elsewhere. It's all about fit and scheme that they're going in, and maybe they fit with a coach better. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. So
now there's some players that are just bust.
Yeah.
It doesn't. They just suck, right? There's former first round picks that are right. They are who they are, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? The other Josh at some Buffalo Bills fans wanted. Right, he's just no matter what system, he's just not going to work. So there is players that doesn't necessarily work, but yes, there is certain players, bro. They leave a certain system, and bro, they thrive. In another coach's philosophy. It's philosophy too, man. Right? A coach may have a different philosophy,
and it's not
different
just
environment.
The coordinator, it's not the coordinator and the head coach too. It could be a position coach. You may click with a guy who can get through to you better,
right? Or a player next to you, right? Or a player next to you is you guys just click together. It works. It happens all the time, bro.
I mean, look at Deion Dawkins in his rookie year when he was at left tackle the first year, and he had Richie next to him, and then. And then
that's why he was screaming for Richie back, by the way.
And he got someone else, and he looked like hot garbage. It's a big difference having
that's why Deion
next to you.
That's why Deion in the offseason, if you remember, was like, guys, you should look at Richie, bring back Richie. Remember, he was on Twitter. Of course, he wanted Richie back. Richie made him look phenomenal. Richie was a bulldog. Mongo for some reason. I thought Mongo would do that, but he didn't. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Jay Bowling comes in and says, I do think Bean can hold some of the blame for the lack of offseason and draft picks. Absolutely. Bean is not free of blame. He takes shots on guys and misses. It happens. Every GM does.
Yep.
Bill Belichick is one of the worst draft pick GMs ever. He hit those last 2 drafts on guys for the first time in like 20 years. It happens.
Yep.
You know,
100%. There's guys with. Listen, look at the Dolphins. I'll give you a good example. Dolphins had a gang load of picks. All those picks ain't working out. A lot of those guys, they're not even on the team. It happens all the time. That's the way the draft is funny, man. A guy could look like a total stud, and it just isn't. It just doesn't work out, man. It happens all the time, bro.
Yeah, Tim, I agree with you. Going for Basham instead of getting Creed Humphreys sticks out like a sore thumb. I was a big Creed Humphreys fan. He's a former wrestler. I thought he would have fit perfect. I understand what Bean was doing. And me and Tommy have this argument all the time, and we had it last week on the show. So I won't get back into it. I understand what Bean's philosophy was, knowing that after this year we weren't going to have any DNs on the roster, knowing we were paying Josh and Tremaine's coming up and Oliver's coming up, and we're gonna have to pay some of these guys. We weren't gonna have the money to go out and get an elite pass rusher. So he was taking shots in the draft on trying to get more guys that can come in on cheaper contracts to help build that room out. That's really what he did. Although I don't agree with it, and I would have much rather had Creed Humphreys. He thought the DN was more of a priority at the time. And who am I to tell him that he's wrong? I don't get paid to do this job.
Right. No, 100%. Once again, man, it's very listen, I wouldn't want to do that job. You can't hit on every pick. It's almost impossible. No, I know it's impossible. Like, it is what it is, but you can't also say 3rd round pick. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, Spencer Brown. What? Who? Why? Like, a lot of Bills fans were saying that. What? And then when I really started looking at who he was, right, and going, well, wait a minute. Hold on. He has a lot of upside here. Wait a minute. This dude's big, athletic. Maybe, just maybe, he could be a future starter. Boy, no one's I don't see you got it. If you're going to bash him for that, then you got to praise the shit out of him for the Spencer Brown pick. I'm just saying, he does it a lot more than you guys think.
The Rousseau pick as well, because I was team Asante Samuel Jr. I wanted Asante Samuel Jr. at all costs. Give me that corner outside of on the other side of Trey. They trust Levi Wallace and Dane Jackson, which I thought Dane Jackson played a heck of a game last week.
Oh, dude, yeah, bro.
I know we passed that, but last week I thought Dane Jackson. I mean, he got the one pass interference call against Gronk, but that guy stood up and played well.
So yeah, he's playing physical. He's not trying to get bullied around. I think his tackling is very good. To be honest with you, I think he's good at tackling running backs as well. I think he may be even a little bit better tackler than Trey. I got to be real with you. He's obviously not as good as a defender, but tackling, bro, he's physical. He's a physical little dude. Don't get that confused on his size, but he played very good. And that's why I wasn't. Well. Yeah, that's why I wasn't overly concerned when Trey went out. It sucks, but I knew our defense, especially our cornerback, we have a deep roster as far as defense goes. Next man up, he's just been stepping up.
And I want to get to Tim's comment again because he asks a good question here. But I really don't foresee us taking investing a high pick in a cornerback, knowing that Dane is going to probably be that guy next year. If he continues playing the way he is, he'll probably be the guy, and they'll probably take a later round corner to backfill Dane's role. And I see us, going for the trenches. So what Tim comes in and says is, do you see him taking more shots at this again next year? I absolutely see him taking more shots next year. I think he goes interior O-line and D-line again like he has the last few drafts. Like the last 3 drafts, it was Oliver in the first round, then it was Epinesa with our first pick in the second round, then it was Rousseau and Basham, and then we went straight back to the line when we grabbed Brown and Doyle. He's going to keep plugging until he hits on those guys, because that's where you have to build that out.
Yeah, no doubt. I listen. I'll say it again, man. It all starts from the top as far as organization goes, the ownership, then the GM, the coaching, the coaching staff, and the players. Without Brandon Bean, without McDermott, you guys, I'm telling you, we would be in a still a massive hole, trying to find our way as a football team. And you gotta, that's why I keep saying, you guys, stop the whole Debbie Downer thing on this team. I know we're not living up to our expectations this season, but it ain't over. And you gotta like what you still like what you see from Brandon Bean and Sean McDermott so far. They've hit on a lot of these drafts, and they're not overpaying on players in free agency, which is
not
good.
Long term. They're overpaying on short term contracts.
Yeah, but Now there's a couple mistakes. We talked about that. Vernon Butler, Trent Murphy. We get that, but come on, Star as of now because he ain't on the field. But listen, to the defense of Brandon Bean, Star is not when he's on the field, he's a good player. Trent Murphy, when he was on the field, you know what I mean? Like, what did he bring really? You know what I mean? Star brings something when he's healthy. Problem is he's not. There's your problem with the money. I don't think he's a bad signing. I think he's just, he's having a problem getting on the field. And last year, I mean, do you blame Star? That's one of those. You get what I'm saying? Like last year,
listen. I didn't blame Star last year. You
get what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's not really
health was I'll never blame a guy for putting his health over a job.
Besides this year, and you can't count last year, Star's done his job.
Yeah.
Let's be real. So how bad was that signing?
Well, it wasn't even that it was bad signing. We restructured him, and it was just how much money we gave him. I wasn't a big fan of, but we overpaid because we were trying to bring in and change the culture. He was part of that culture change, and then when we signed him, so I understand. Like we overpaid Mitch Morse. He was the highest paid center,
Yes,
but you sometimes you have to do that to make the change, the culture change.
Well, they did that for Josh too. The Morse thing was more for Josh. He was a guy they trusted, a veteran, smart.
He could teach
yes, correct. So that was more for like helping Josh out. You know what I mean? And he's like you said, a smart dude. But I think they need a bulk up on both sides, on line and defensive line. It's time to get some bigger players in that position. I think we lack size. That's where I think it's hurting on this team. Star lost weight, by the way, guys. Like he's not as big as he was.
Mongo did too.
Mongo lost weight, right? That's maybe a problem. I want big dudes, man, in these positions. Big guys that can move, like Spencer Brown, right? Like I know you can't get them all big, but my God, go out there and find some big dudes from Oklahoma.
Well, it's not even just big dudes. I want powerful
I'm just
guys.
saying.
I don't want big soft guys. I want nasty guys. Bring me.
Dude, I'll take a Sam Adams all day of the week, bro.
So let me get into the comments real quick, Tommy. So Trey Ellis comes in and says, "Question: Who do you pay or who do you trade?" We will get into those type of questions as we get in later in the season. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole today. And then I think Carl comes in and asks, with Ike Bacher and Mark Lanzowski will both be free agents. We'll get to all that in the offseason shows. Trust me, we're not going anywhere. Me and Tommy will be here with you guys to go through all that type of stuff. So I know there's a lot of questions about who do you pay, Oliver or Edmonds? We'll get all of that, but I want to get through the preview piece,
Oliver
of our upcoming game. So, with that, let's go. The Panthers, they have a solid D. They have a good D line. They have Burns and Reddick coming off the edge. They have Brown in the middle. They have a couple athletic linebackers and Shaq Thompson, and then they've got Stephon Gilmore at one corner, and then they have Jeremy Chin at safety. So they got some players. However, what I've seen recently on tape is they give up big plays. They don't give up a lot of 7, 12, 15 play drives because they have solid guys, they give up big plays.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And by the way, their special
and that offense
teams
doesn't help them. They get tired
isn't
because
good. Isn't very
the special
their
team
special,
isn't very good.
And their
special teams isn't
kicker
very good and
doesn't kick many in the end zone. So guess what? Who's gonna have a lot of chances this week for the first time possibly since he's come up? Marquez Stevenson. He may have more chances this game for kick returning than any other game because their kicker does not kick many in the end zone. He kicks them kind of short. So if Stevenson's going to break out, you guys, this is going to be the game where he could possibly break out because they're one of the worst. I think they're 29th in the league on special teams. They're average. I think kick returners are averaging almost 30 yards a return. So, Marquez, this is you, buddy. Me versus me. Remember on your on your face paint or whatever. So here we go, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. Well, it's gonna be man on man. Let's see who wins. You got to beat your guy. Got to do your job, as right. Belichick likes to say, or
what's the weather?
McDermott says, do your 111th. So on defense, gotta watch out for Burns and Reddick off the edges, which scares me now knowing that that Dawkins isn't going to be there. Their offense, though, man, their offense struggles. They have DJ Moore, and that's it. They have no McCaffrey. McCaffrey was shut down for the year.
He's
their
gone.
Offensive line is.
They don't know what quarterback they're using.
No, I think Sam Darnold's back. So I think Darnold will be the quarterback this year.
Are you sure? Week. That's not what Are you sure?
They pulled him off of IR.
Oh, did they?
They returned him from IR. So.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it's Darnold, Newton, or PJ Walker as their choices. So it's not a bunch of really good ones.
I'm not afraid of any of them. None of them worry me.
Yes, Tim. It's still Gilmore gets torched and throws up his hands like, what? It was me? Yeah. So it's not just, Jeremy Chin is one of those guys that I wanted really bad in the draft. I was a big Jeremy Chin fan. When we drafted AJ Epinesa, I was so mad because Jeremy Chin was on the board and I wanted him. But, I also wanted, if we didn't take Chin, I wanted us to take Dobbins, J.K. Dobbins at Ohio State, the running back. And he went to pick after.
I don't want any running back until they fix the line, bro.
Yeah,
fix the line, bro.
Now, this was last year. And,
oh, okay.
This was before we knew we had such a horrible run O line.
Right.
It just got bad.
It got really bad, and the pass blocking is what really took a step back because they weren't that Mikey. They were. Josh Allen had a lot of time last year. He was sitting back there. This year, he ain't sitting. He's sitting on the ground after getting nailed. You know what I mean? But that's a little. I'm just surprised that the O-line regressed so much in pass blocking because it's the same line. It's the same dudes. So I don't know what happened.
Part of it, I think, is scheme. He's and we go back and we've talked about this in many weeks.
Yeah.
I think part of it's scheme because he almost threw out the 2020 playbook and brought in a new one, overthought it. But I want to go to what Spen says. Spen has a great point here. It says this Jags 2.0, no offense, a good defense with a decent pass rush. We're gonna find out if we learned our lessons from that Jags game this week.
Against a lot of teams,
but
really.
Spen, you hit that dead on, man.
All right.
This is eerily similar to that Jags game, except we'll be at home and not on the road. Dave comes in and said should be mid-60s, windy and cold.
Hey, all right. Okay. But who knows? Now it says that, but it could 40 with 35 mile per hour winds for all we know.
It doesn't matter. Got to run our offense and got to play games. No more excuses. It's time to step up or we're not going to make the playoffs. And it is what it is at this point. Tim comes in and says, I'm with you, Tommy. It's hard to evaluate running backs when you have no line, basically. Let's see. Carl comes in and says, this is the game where Josh shows off his big arm. You know, it's a 50-yarders downfield to Diggs. We could.
I would love
just don't go chasing the dragon. That's all I ask.
Yeah. I would love a 65-35 passing game. 65% pass, 35 run. I think that's perfect, to be honest with you. For this,
I agree.
And
we talked
you
about
got to run it.
Use the short passes as to supplement your run game early, and you pass to set up the run. You don't run to set up the pass. You do it the other way around. That's how Buffalo. That's how they've been winning. That's their winning formula.
Get some rhythm. Yeah, rhythm passes, man. Get Josh going a little early on some rhythm passes, right? Get some outside runs going. Get the defense being honest. Then you can go down and hit, Diggs with a 35, 40-yard pat. You got to, man, I'm telling you, get Isaiah in there. Get some motions going. Do exactly what you did in the second half of that Tampa game. That's what we all want to see. I think all Bills fans can agree that second half I felt was just perfect Buffalo football, man. There was nothing crazy. We weren't thrown. It was all done right. Like we weren't playing with this urgency. We were throwing the ball crazy. Josh was getting everything was just patiently ran right. Dable needs to go back to that, man. That's it, man. Let the players make the plays. Let Josh be Josh. Stop holding back Josh, man. That's what I keep saying, man. You got to trust Josh a little bit.
And as Y says, he loves it. Get some rhythm. Get it going.
Yeah. Stop running them up the fucking middle.
Give Devon that. You know what? We do. I agree with Carl here. We need to stop this running back rotation and let Singletary give him 15 to 20 carries a game. Just let the guy. He's our most effective running back.
Yes.
Let him be the running back one.
When he gets the ball, guys, he's averaging 5 yards a carry.
Yep.
I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. You can't complain. I'll take that all day. But if he's only getting 7 carries, 6 carries, the defense is never going to play for the run. You got to give him at least, I would say on this team, Devin Singletary, like Mikey said, I would say anywhere from 13 to 17 runs, anywhere in between there. But anything less than 10 is ridiculous. You cannot win a game like that. The defense will never bite on play actions. The RPOs will never work. Never. If the running backs are never getting the ball.
It's not even that. I want to see the outside runs, the motions, the misdirections. Get that defensive line and those linebackers looking.
Get them moving.
Their eyes moving. Get them moving because that's going to open up lanes.
I agree. But you got to run.
Yeah. Well, I don't want them to run because they could also run up the middle like they did against the Patriots over and over. All you're doing is telling guys you're coming straight up the middle.
Stupid.
Get outside. Get them flowing. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. But that was stupid play calling. That's not on the running backs of the offensive line. That's Dable calling the same. Yeah. Dude, Dable. That's my point about Dable and his in-game adjustments. You see it's not working. You continually do it and do it and do it and do. It's like he's going to the well. Wait, bro, it's dry. Bro, kick it to the outside. What are you doing? And bro, that Patriot game was over and over. And that's what that's my knock on Dable. He cannot get out of his own way. Dable, wake up. Stop it already. Change things up, bro. And listen, the Tampa game, he did. I got to give Dable credit for that. I would listen, I was going to bash the shit out of him on Sunday night. You guys have no idea. Everyone was so mad at me for being nice. You guys have no idea. I was red up to here, and then it went down, right? As the game went on, but I was ready to kill them, all of them. The whole, bro, not just Dable, the whole team. I was ready to go in, heartless, gutless, can't fight back, laying down for fucking Tampa Bay, for Tom Brady, taking an ass whipping like a bunch of sissies, and they didn't do that. So I couldn't come on here and rip them. I can't.
Nope.
This is what I want to see. That's what you want to see. Heart and fight. And they fought back, and that's all you can ask for, man. They didn't lay down because listen, the Colts game, I ripped the fuck out of them because they showed no heart, nothing. The whole team. They laid down. They got their ass kicked. They look like a beaten bad team, right? That was the first game all year we can say that the whole team lost.
Yeah.
They look like nothing, like soft sissies, the whole team. But this game, I can't say that, right? And the defense for the most year, except for that Colts game, they stepped up when it counted. You guys got to give them that. Even with players out like Trey without Star.
The closest you were going to get to that was last week, and we didn't run it all in the first half. So I don't ever see that actually happen.
Yeah.
But Tommy, we're at about 90 minutes in, so let's get to closing this thing up.
90 minutes.
It's easy to get going once you start, getting into the chat. Now
we're going on we're going on the Godfather type of stream.
Yeah. So all right, so give me your prediction this week, Tommy. What do you got?
Oh God, I hate doing this because we're in Buffalo, and Jesus, man, I never know with the weather, so the weather could really affect my score. So if the conditions are what the guy said earlier, I forget who said them. We're 60 and not too crazy windy, no rain, a little rain to no rain. I'm gonna say 27-10 Buffalo wins, and that's a fair score. That's not a crazy, but I think we control the game. I think their offense stinks, and defensively we'll do our job, and I think offensively we woke up last game. So 27-10. I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I actually think it's going to be much worse than that, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, way over. I just look at the way they are playing.
Okay.
If we see the second half Bills, I think it's going to be something like 31-13 or something like that.
So very close to my score. That's very close, Mikey. That's not bad. It's a good defensive team, by the way. I didn't want to go overboard, and we're in Buffalo. You got to count that as a factor.
Yeah, and the reason why I say 31-13, I think the Bills are going to get some turnovers, and we're going to start on our side of
good field position. Yeah.
Good field position to where we're not going to have to mount multiple, 80, 70, 80-yard drives. I think we're going to have 30
maybe even good kick returns.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, I don't foresee us having to mount a lot of really long drives, because if we have to mount long drives, I don't think it's going to be a 31-13 type of score. But if we go like what we did with even against the Patriots, where we started like at our own 40, I could see us easily putting a score up like that. Yeah. I don't see the Panthers scoring a lot of points on us.
Right. Yeah. Neither do
I could. That's why I said 10. Putting points on them.
Yeah, 100%. That's that's what I'm saying. I think our defense. I said this yesterday. I think our defense will handle their business. It's going to come down to our offense, plain and simple.
Ben comes in and says 38-9.
I don't hate it, but I hate it in a way because it's in Buffalo, and God, who knows? Yeah. I'm so scared because I don't know the conditions in Buffalo. It could be swirling 40-mile-per-hour winds. And then we wind up winning 23-6. It could be that kind of game.
Y comes in and says 20-13. Carl comes in and says prediction: we're up 31 at halftime.
I would love it.
And we see Mitchie. We see Mitchie in the second half.
I'll take it. Awesome. I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, so Dave came in and said that the weather report he thought it was in.
I was gonna say that sounds beautiful. All right, what is it? What is it? What is
it? All right.
So what is it? 20 degrees and snowing?
So give me your recap. Not your recap, but give me your X factors. While you're doing that, give me your X factors, and while you're doing that, I will look up the weather.
All right. I'm gonna guess the weather real quick. 30s and light snow. Okay, here we go.
You said what?
30s and light snow.
Okay.
It's just a guess.
All right, let's see.
It's in Buffalo. I'm in Detroit, and right now we're in mid 30s. So, okay. So
Orchard Park on Sunday. Orchard Park on Sunday. Cloudy and 31 is the high.
So freezing cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And possible chance of snow or rain.
Rain and snow on Saturday. No rain and snow on Sunday.
Oh, hey, okay. Well, you know what? That's not a bad day in Buffalo. It may be cold, but that's all right. That's all right. How's the wind though? What's the wind?
I'm looking to see if it gives me wind.
All right, so I'll continue my X factor
Okay.
on offense. I'm gonna say Gabe Davis on offense, and then on
Davis,
defense,
okay.
yeah, first one all season. I think he's feeling himself.
Yep.
I think Dable's gonna get him more involved. Defensively, I'm gonna go with on this game because they have a terrible offense. I'm gonna go with Rousseau. I'm going back Rousseau, man. I think Rousseau has a good
Going
game.
with Groot. Okay,
Yep.
and before I give you mine, I'm going to just let you know that the according to the app, the game time weather is going to be in the low 20s with 5% chance of participation.
That's not bad then.
And
okay,
like 10-mile-an-hour winds, so not much.
So 10, yeah, but remember, that's never true. So if it's 10-mile-per-hour winds, that means it's more like 15. So that's still not terrible. So, okay. No. That means it's a decent day to play in Buffalo.
Yep.
There's no excuses
here. It's gonna be cold
for the offense.
But I don't think it's gonna be super windy.
Right. And I don't think any rain either with that percent. That will be all right. Then there's no excuse for the offense.
Buffalo weather, high of 31, low of 22, clouds in the PM. Yep, chance.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Right. No, that's fine. That's good. I'll take that.
Yeah, Dave comes in said that wind is from 5 to 10 from northwest. So that's across the field. So that honestly, at this time of year, you can't ask for better weather than that.
That's what I mean. That's weather for Buffalo. I'll take it, man. Yo, I'll do 100%, bro. I'll take it.
Yep. So, okay. So for me, I'm gonna say the X factor for the game this week is gonna be Knox.
Nice.
I don't see who's going to match up with him unless they're running Jeremy Chin on him. I just don't see how they can match up with him. And then on defense, it's going to be Oliver. I think Oliver's going to eat.
Nice. Okay. That's a good one.
So that kind of covers our X factors. What does everyone else think out there? I'll give you guys a minute or two to give me who you guys think is going to be the X factor this week. It can be offense or defense. Just let me know what you guys think. We got Breida as the star this week from Spin. Then we got a Dane Jackson pick 6 spin. Okay. I like it. So while we're waiting for those to come in, Tommy, what do you got coming up this week?
Tomorrow, the AFC East Shakedown is going to be running a little bit late. We're going to start at 9:00 instead of 7:30. It's just going to be me and Captain D because Trevor and Juan have to watch their game. As you know, the Patriots play tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
So they won't be on tomorrow. So it's going to be tomorrow late show at 9. I'm going to do a post-game show after the Colts game, directly after. And then just a heads up, guys, next week, Trevor and Juan from Sports Dynasty, which they represent the Patriots. If you guys know my channel, they come on. They're going to be on here on Friday on hashtag on Tailgate Talk at 7:30. And then we're going to be on their show Saturday. So we'll get all the details to you guys next week when we talk to you Friday about their network and all that stuff. But they will be on hashtag next Friday. We'll have some Patriot guys in here, guys. So, and that's Patriot weekend. We're playing the Patriots. So it's going to be interesting dialogue. I highly suggest you guys come in and hear that show because it's going to be really good. And then if you guys should go on their show Saturday because there's going to be Patriot fans in there and the chat could be going a little crazy and it'll be fun. It'll be a fun little ride there for us.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. A nice Christmas Eve show. We'll have a Christmas Eve show here on hashtag sports, and then we're going to have a Christmas show on their network as me and Tommy are going to go over there and talk about it since that's the Patriots rivalry week. So we decided let's go on each other's channels, talk a little crap, have a little bit of fun, It's Christmas spirit time. Drink a little eggnog. I'm gonna wear my Buffalo Bills Santa hat.
Nice.
I'm gonna get in the the theme of it. Get ready for the 26th as the Bills stomp the Patriots and take back.
And you guys, listen. If you guys need my address for any Christmas presents you want to send me, just hit me up at Twitter, and I'll just gladly. And don't be sending me no coal. I want no BS presents from no joke. I want some good Buffalo Bill stuff. And yeah, if Mikey wants some presents, that's up to you. But I deserve some presents. I've been a good boy this year. Come on, guys. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. You go ahead and put your address out there like that, Tommy. I'll let you do that. You let me know how that works out for you, bud. But
oh shit.
All right, everyone. Then that's next week's shows that we got lined up. Obviously, you can find me on Twitter at Apex006. I'll probably because I'm off. I might be hitting up Tommy. I might be jumping on some of his shows this week just because I'm off and I got nothing else to do. Well, the reason a lot of times I don't go on his shows is because he starts as I'm still working because I'm on the West Coast.
Thursday night Uncensored. That's right. Hey, Mikey might be on coming up Thursday.
You want to see me Uncensored? That's right.
Uncensored, man. A lot of F-bombs going on, man. So if we win, they're still going to be uncensored. But if we lose, go boy.
You know what, Tommy? I'll be there.
We're not losing.
Thursday I will be there for your Uncensored show.
All right,
you put in the book. So we'll do Thursday, Friday, Saturday together.
Oh, but 3 nights in a row.
Yeah. I wanted to come on your Uncensored, and I think this is a perfect time. Then I can really let loose and show you my personality. All right, cool. So, all right, buddy. And as we close out, here's a word from our sponsor.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, Realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth, and right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona? Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions so we can take the next step to your financial freedom here in the Valley of the Sun, utilizing real estate. As always, God bless America and go Buffalo!